Greetings and welcome for my video diary for the month of July. As always, I'm going to do a bit of a roundup of what I've been doing over the month. Some new releases, bits and pieces, podcast episodes, that kind of stuff. Basically, lots of random bits of news. So July was a pretty good month for me. I finished the third novella in the Hollowhills Cycle, which is the final part of the central trilogy. So I'm really pleased about that. I managed to get that done. I'm very happy with how it came out. After that, I had something to spin off it, and I combined it with an as on yet released short story that was set in Hollowhills, and now it's basically going to become book 4 in the Hollowhills Cycle. I'm always mocking like David Green and people like that, like fantasy authors, for having trilogies of more than 3 books, but mine's a cycle. It can have more than 3 books. That's the whole point. So basically the plan is that it's going to act as sort of a bridging story into the next few bits, which are then going to bring it up to dovetail with the story The Hollowhills, which is in my first short story collection, The Pseudopod that Rocks the Cradle. So it's just going to be a seamless piece once I've finished filling in all the little blanks and bits and pieces. But because I'd kind of written it as I was going along with that one, I kind of wrote it back to back. So once I'd finished that, I just dived straight into it, and it's pretty much done. I'm very pleased with that. It's sort of a novelette length, around the 15k mark. So I'm really pleased with that. The only reason I haven't actually finished it is because I've had to put it aside for a little bit to do a short story for a group an invite only project, which I can't divulge at the moment. So it's been a good bit of productive month. I also appeared at the Brighton Hove Book Fayre on the 16th of July, which was good fun. As always, we were kind of cursed because the day it happened was when all the orange weather warnings went out for the heat wave. Basically, people saying, "Stay at home, you'll burst into flames," and there's those idiots just trying to sell books. And also there was a parade that went past at one point, which meant that for most of the morning there was a bunch of police standing outside the building. No one could get in. But aside from that, it was a good day. You sold a few books, met some nice people, had a good laugh, and the fact is it was in a church, so I got the opportunity to make lots of smutty organ jokes, as you do. Moving on to new releases. The first one that came out that last month was Through the Gates of Yog-Sothoth from 8 Tower Records. Now, it's part of a series of dark fiction anthologies that they've been putting out. Various ones, like Songs for Lovecraftian Summonings, and there's ones based on like the works of Cronenberg and Lucio Fulci, that kind of business. But he's going to do a series of ones based on Lovecraftian deities, and this is the first in that sort of sub-series. Through the Gates of Yog-Sothoth. And that's a fantastic piece of art, isn't it? It's a wonderful, wonderful bit of art in it. It's curated by Raphael Pezzella. Apologies if I got your name wrong, sir. And it features some people that you may have heard of. Mr. John Chadwick, one of my co-conspirators from the Innsmouth Book Club podcast. Chris McCauley, who's been a guest on the podcast a bunch of times. He's done a story in there with Claudia Christian from Babylon 5. They both did a story in my Musketeers vs. Cthulhu anthology. It's a lovely, lovely tome. This is the hardback. And aside from the book itself, it actually comes with an accompanying CD of dark experimental industrial based on Yog-Sothoth. So you got the track listing here, superb. You got The Lurker at the Threshold, Born from the Nameless Mist, Your Servants Call Upon You, and Beyond Mortal Comprehension. It's really good. If you like your dark ambient drone sort of soundscapes, this is well worth picking up. What I plan on doing is banging it on with some headphones and diving into the book. So that was the first release of the month. The second one, was this beauty. It's Lovecraftiana magazine's Lammas Eve edition. As you can see, I made the cover. Yeah, my story, The Dappled Egg. That's me. Look at that. I'm absolutely delighted. I love this magazine anyway. I collect this magazine. Collect the omnibus editions, and I was in one last year. I believe that was Lammas as well. I had a story in that one as well. So yeah, it's such a great publication. I mean, it's chock full. I mean, look at that lot. I mean, you probably can't read it very well, but it's chock full of stories, poetry, art, all sort of Lovecraftian, cosmic horror related. It's just a superb publication. Mr. Gavin Chappell puts it together, and yeah, I'm just delighted to A, have the story, and B, have it featured on the cover. So yeah, that made my day when I saw the cover. I was like, oh, excellent. Yeah, so that's out now. As always, the links will be below. Yeah, also last month we carried on as normal with the Innsmouth Book Club podcast and Strange Shadows, the Clark Ashton Smith podcast. The episodes we covered that came out last month for the Innsmouth Book Club. On the 4th of July, we had an episode on Reflections for the Winter of My Soul by Carl Edward Wagner, which was a sort of sword and sorcery meets werewolves, dark sword and sorcery. Really good story. The second edition of Innsmouth Book Club podcast last month was the 17th of July edition, which focused on Algernon Blackwood's The Willows, which is one of my favourite stories, like, period. I absolutely love that story, and we had such a good in-depth conversation about it. I really enjoyed that episode. And then on the 30th, came out last week, we had an episode we had an Innsmouth cinema double feature. We looked at the Innsmouth Picture House. We trotted over to the Innsmouth Picture House and avoided the pilchard ice cream. And we covered Stuart Gordon's Reanimator and From Beyond. So we had an in-depth look at those two 80s classics. And then Strange Shadows, the episodes we covered last month were on the 11th. We covered The End of the Story. And that was we had our first guest for that. We had Mr. Jeff Goad from the Appendix N podcast come on and talk to us about that. So that was really cool. On the 24th, we covered Phantoms of the Fire and A Night in Malnion, which, yeah, really good. Really, yeah, because obviously we're working through them in order. We also did a special patron-only episode where me and Rob discussed some of the letters between Clark Ashton Smith, H.P. Lovecraft, and August Derleth. It's really interesting, some to and forwards and to and fro and all that. So it's really just interesting stuff to sort of, the men behind the fiction sort of thing. It's just quite interesting to see. I think it's something that's going to be like, obviously, that was letters, physical letters. I mean, it's all text messages and emails now, isn't it? It's like 2 lines, whereas these are like, especially Lovecraft. I mean, his letters were like they were like short novels, some of them. So yeah, that was really interesting. We're planning on doing another episode like that. I should also say as well, we did a patron only for the Innsmouth Book Club podcast as well, where we had a few guests on. A few of our patrons came on to ask some questions, just have a chat, talk about their work, our work. So that was cool, nice sort of informal. A nice Sunday evening that was, it was very pleasant. So you can check all those out. I'll put the Buzzsprout links below and the Patreon link as well. You can join up as a patron for either, but you get both. So I think that's how it works anyway. If not, if not, just tell me I'm wrong. So and aside from that, I also appeared on the latest edition of the People's Guide to the Cthulhu Mythos, discussing Nyarlathotep. That was fun as well. So yeah, go and check that out. And as always, so thank you, people who have joined in. I've just started an actual readers group, which is something that my author page keeps nagging me to do, so I thought I'd do it. So join. It's called the Eldritch Tea Room. So come join, have a chat. You know, it's kind of informal, just chat about stuff, and yeah, just sort of interact a bit. So join up to that if you've not already. And thanks as always for your support. Like I say, I've got a bunch of things happening at the minute and next month, but I can't talk about any of them. One thing I can talk about, because after I've recorded this, I'm going live online to do the announcement for what I'm about to say now. But by the time this goes out, it'll be after that, so it's all good. Yes, at the end of August, on the 31st, my second short story collection, entitled Visions and Abominations, will release from Nordic Press. That's 20 short stories. It's gonna be a chunky one. Like I say, there will be another video about that where I'll go into more detail about it, and I will be discussing it more on August's video diary. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, comments, don't forget to don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. But yeah, if you have any questions, stick them in the comments. I'll probably get back to you. Probably. I don't know, just send me pictures of octopus, it's all good. Alright, goodbye.